Chapter 38. During the night, Billy was awakened by the sound of choppers. Not one or two, but many going overhead. Looking out the window, he could see Highway 68 in the distance. Big vehicles and what looked like armored vehicles passed in the direction of Tellico in the falls. His night of sleep was officially over. They schemed throughout the day. Around 3 p.m., Billy could no longer stand the inactivity, and throwing caution to the wind, he asked Rink if she wanted to go into town with him, just to look around. The thought of Tinker being the killer had haunted him all morning. If the team and Bigfoot made a getaway, the likelihood of the sheriff getting away with murder increased. Placing an anonymous call to the FBI was futile and would put Bigfoot in jeopardy of being discovered. So, if he went to Madisonville, the only people he was truly avoiding were the sheriff and his deputies. At least right now. There was no way they could find any sort of crate large enough for Bigfoot to be hidden. He would simply have to load up with the team if they could get the truck. The team also considered that they might have to commandeer the vehicle. It might be the safest plan for Bigfoot and for Tyler, who couldn't be held accountable for the theft of the vehicle if they were caught. They also considered even crazier ideas, like dressing Bigfoot in clothing, the most unattractive female in Tennessee. They finally decided they would first simply attempt to try to convince Tyler to go along with them. Gable would certainly could persuade him. It was decided that Petra could do much better, though. With a rough idea of their plan of action, Billy and Rink drove to Madisonville. Certainly the guard was organizing to leave. The remainder of their troops would come out of the mountains late this afternoon, and that would be that. But as Shakespeare said, fortune brings in some boats that are not steered. He appeared at Billy's elbow after Rink went into a coffee shop. "This is crazy," the man said. He was a little taller than Billy, not old, not young, with a fresh haircut and a polo shirt that smelled new. "It is," Billy said. "Think they'll get the Bigfoot?" the man asked. "I doubt it," Billy answered. He looked to the man's inexpensive running shoes that were also new. "Pretty good. Not good enough, though. Sometimes playing dumb is the smartest thing you can do." "You think he did it?" "The Bigfoot?" Billy asked. "Yeah, sure, the Bigfoot," the man said. He took out a chapstick and applied it deliberately to his lips. "I don't think so," Billy said, and made it clear that he was considering the thought. "I would think the person who most wants us to believe a mythical creature murdered someone had something to hide himself. You sort of have to wonder what the person is hiding." "That's pretty smart," the man said as he offered his hand. "I'm Nolan." Billy shook his hand. "Bill." "Nice to meet you. You from here?" He knows exactly where I'm from, Billy thought. Now, how to get out of here? "From lots of places," Billy said. "It was nice to meet you, but back to what we were saying. If I had to suspect someone, and I never did really well in Clue, it would be Sheriff Tinker." The man turned to look directly in Billy's face. Before he could continue, Billy saw Rink. My friend is here. Nice to talk to you," Billy said as he left. "Who's your friend?" "FBI guy. Can't you tell? We need to scram." They made a beeline of escape, just as Petra had done earlier. 10 minutes before 6, the entire team stood beside the garage with all of their equipment in piles. Bigfoot and Tom remained inside. Tyler's involvement was a work in progress. The team would play it by ear. The plan, though, was to take Bigfoot to the top of Buck Bald. Hopefully, any remaining searchers would be focused on the Tellico side of the mountains, and if Bigfoot could rendezvous with others, the prevailing thought was that it was his family, they could escape going the other way. At 1 minute before 7, the team had begun to grow worried. When 7 came and went, they grew even more nervous. "Where is he?" Billy asked no one in particular. "He'll be here," Petra said. It was impossible to tell if she really believed what she was saying. On the roadway, two black unmarked cars zipped by, doing more than 100 miles an hour in the twilight. Then two Apache helicopters flew overhead, going in the same direction. At a quarter past, several military vehicles and two armed personnel carriers flew down the road. And finally, the guard truck appeared at the entrance, slowing and searching for the driveway, and turned toward the house. It was showtime.